Let's move on to the Concord.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Then I think maybe let's start off by just talking about our experience at the court.
Okay.
And then we can get into the questions. Do you want to go?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
This is the part when you go.
Okay, guys. So now we're going to address, working at the Constitutional Court, right? So I just want to start off by saying, I always say this to people. I always say this to people. It's the greatest experience of my life. So yeah, it's a great experience.
Yeah.
You learn your infinite amount of work.
I agree.
Like it just, you can't compare it to anything. I can't.
Mm-mm.
Okay, personally, I can't. I do know that in different phases or in different fields of law, you learn different things. So, for example, as an attorney, you'll learn something specific.
Mm-hmm.
As a researcher, you'll learn something specific, and as an advocate, you'll learn something specific. So, I mean, those experiences are unique in and of themselves. But the research work helps you so much with being an attorney, being an advocate. So it's something that you could use everywhere, and that's why it's something that I feel like doesn't have value. I mean, I want to say it's priceless.
I'm like,
okay.
I was like, wait,
it's invaluable.
There we go. Okay. No, we get it. Hey guys, it's xoxo. And again, we get it, guys. So that means the data bundles have been reduced, ne?
God.
But you get it. No, I agree. I completely agree with you. I always say, now for Nibli, I went quite early in my career. And I'm just like, I don't know if I'll ever find a better job. And that's a little bit depressing because you're thinking, I'm so young. If this is it, if this is the best, yeah. So it really is one in a lifetime opportunity experience. And I always say this, I went 6 months after my articles, ne? And I felt it even helped me to be able to complete my articles, One thing that I feel like the court teaches you is just what is that thing that we normally do? That ICCing thing where you triple check the judgment a billion times. It teaches you attention to detail.
Yes.
It's crazy because when you look at kind of how you when you present musebeti and when someone else presents it, you literally fine check every single detail in that work because you kind of learn that and you don't actually think about it because it's
but it's so important.
At the court, obviously you think about it because that's what you do all the time. But when you take that skill and whether you use it as an advocate, as an attorney, as whatever,
so
it's
it's great.
I think every single lawyer needs to have an opportunity to go to the court. Even if you don't like public interest law or whatever, I think everybody should have just that 1 year. It should be something that every single lawyer gets to experience because it's amazing.
Yeah.
So let's get into the questions. There was a question about providing advice on the application process at the court, right? I think it's very. Don't you have a video on this?
We all have videos.
Yeah,
on this.
all of us. Please go watch those videos. Yeah, no, guys, we really do. We really, really do. But I think the application process is very straightforward at the court, and I think when you apply for articles, it's a little bit trickier now than how it was when I applied, because now you have to apply legally and whatever. So there's a process to it, but I do think the application process at the court is very simple.
You have to apply legally now.
You have to good day, please find attach my CV. No, I suddenly hear that thing. You have to create a profile and all of that thing. And so at the court, it's literally still the traditional way of literally just sending your CV and your documents to a certain email address, right? And the one thing that people always ask is about that research that you need to submit.
Oh yeah. Yo, that question comes up so often.
A lot. And I always say, guys, just submit something that you submitted in Varsity. That's what I did.
But don't, please, my opinion, don't submit an answer to an assessment or an assignment. So people would take a question they were asked in an assignment and then they'll submit that.
What do you mean?
Like, maybe it was an assignment for criminal law and then there was a particular question, you know those long questions?
Really?
And then you just submit that as your written piece. But it was an answer to a question.
But how long would an answer be though?
It could be very long if it's like if the assessment is 2 questions and like the paper is out of 50 or
so why shouldn't they
100.
submit that?
Because for me, for me,
for me, I want to be specific for us. Yes.
For me, it doesn't necessarily demonstrate your ability to do your own research without somebody prompting you to do something. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I hear you.
You were just like, here's an answer. I answered this question. Take.
No,
and
I hear you.
For me, it's like at the court. It's literally about them knowing that a judge's work is to write judgments, and judgments come from research. They come from reading. They come from so many things, right? And they want. Obviously, you're not a judge, but they want to know that the person that's going to work for them has the same ability. So if you just answering, textbook answers because the answers in the textbook, you didn't do research.
Oh, I hear you. I hear you. Okay, no, I hear you. Okay, it just seems like as I'm applying.
You just answered the question from your book.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
So don't submit an answer that you submitted for an assessment or an exam or whatever as your written piece. Like, just demonstrate you did some sort of research.
So you can submit something like
dissertation.
Yes, something like that. I actually submitted my jurisprudence. It was an assignment, actually. Now that you say that, it was an assignment, but it was like a mini dissertation. Yeah, so we were answering, actually no, I wouldn't even say we were answering a question. We were so you know how you get like course pack, they'll say to you, choose any topic in the course pack and research, and that will be your mini dissertation. Yes. That's what I did, right? So I think that's fine. Yes. Yeah, but not what are the 5 principles of criminal law, and then it will submit because then it doesn't show like you even tried.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of the times people also feel they need to start from scratch. I was not going to do that. You don't have
to start from scratch. No. Yeah, I also didn't have time to do that.
I was just like, no, I could do a researcher from the beginning. So I just submitted something that I got a good mark in, and I suppose it worked. Yeah. And also the other misconception is people thinking that they have to submit something related to
the Constitution or whatever.
Yes, no, you don't. I've seen people submit like there was a guy that submitted something to do with company law, anything. I don't think necessarily it's about
anything
what you're writing on. It's about just your ability to be able to write grammar, like basic things, So yeah, I think that's the Concord questions. But in addition, please watch our videos on Concord.
Please, guys.
Please. So we've spoken about our individual experiences. The questions that you get at the interview.
Concord. It depends on the judge.
It does. What did you get? Like, who interviewed you actually?
Only Jafta.
Okay.
And half of my interview was about my background.
Really?
Yeah. It was a conversation.
Yeah.
Where do you come from? Where did you study? How was it growing up? What was like your family structure? Like, all of that, just getting to know me as a person. And then he was like, okay, let's get into the law.
Oh my God.
You relaxed now. You're like,
and then what kind of questions did you get asked?
So it was about obviously, I think most of them ask you about a Concord case.
Yes, that's true.
They're going to ask you about a Concord case.
Yes. So you must read. You must at least know.
He asked me about Subramani.
Specifically?
Yeah.
Oh,
and then
my
I was
God.
like, I'm not judged, to be honest. I remember from school, but I forgot.
Please, let's
not even get into it. No, it has to do with their provision about health care, and I think this guy, let's not talk about things. Let's leave it alone. Because, we're going to be judged for not knowing Subramani.
Yeah.
But, so I said to him, I don't remember, right? And then he was like, okay, what court case do you recently remember from this quote that you disagree with.
They love that question. I also got that question. Yes. Yeah.
So then it was just about talking about that. I chose the case. So it was...
So you can guide the interview.
You can guide the interview,
yeah.
you know. But it depends. Other judges are going to die on the cross that I asked you about Subramani.
Yeah.
And you're not answering the question on Subramani, so bye.
Yeah, you see. So, hey, guys, I think it's very different depending on the kind of judge that interviews you. I actually got similar questions. I got, what is your favorite judgment from the court? What is your least favorite judgment? And the one that was my least favorite, that's the one that she was just like, okay, go, tell me why. I was just like, okay, I don't want to get into this. But I think for Na, it was quite helpful because literally, I think before I went to the Concord, I was doing admin law and in Ezaki Hoekstra adverts. So there was this one case, I think it was in KCL, blue moonlight, something like that. Yeah, there was some case like that, and that lecturer, like, she hated the judgment. So she literally dissected it. So when I got there, I literally just said what Hitler said. I'm not Hitler, my gosh. Hoekstra said. And she was just like, oh my gosh, I never thought of it like that. I'm just like, Hoekstra. I'm like, look at me, go admin law. So for now, I think I remembered a lot of the Concord judgments because of admin law, you know. And so, yeah, those are the kinds of questions. Favorite judgment, least favorite. But I know what happens with other chambers. They'll ask you to read a judgment and then
you prepare.
Yeah, you prepare for it, and then they ask you questions based on it, right? Yeah. So it will depend on who's interviewing you, their personality. But I had a very good interview. I also had a lot of the questions were like, where do you come from? Also, like, and then it was great because she came from the north. My judge was from the northwest as well. So it was just like sister,
nice conversation.
Sister, you know. So yeah, like it wasn't. I felt like the Concord interviews are not like articles and like that you know, what are the 5 principles of AA? You're not gonna get that, you know. I really think it's really about establishing a relationship or a connection with your judge. If you can do that, I think you're good to go. Yeah. Okay, we've done drafting, sample, types of questions. Oh, then there's a question about whether it's whether you should either go for articles first or to the Concord first after you do your degree.
I don't know. I would...
No, you just said I don't know.
I don't. So, like, I think I answered this question in my YouTube video. And my thinking was, it depends. So there are, like, judges who take... So different judges have different criteria, you know, based on how they work and whatever, right?
Yes.
So other judges prefer people with experience, and others they don't mind because you're going to learn a different thing anyway when you get to the court. So my thing is that there are a lot of people who are applying who have experience, and you're competing with Mang has an LLM, they worked at whatever, they've got this experience, whatever. But however, the transformation thing comes in there as well, because I think the court is starting to realize that other people already have opportunities, and there are people who don't. And those people who don't have opportunities should be given those opportunities. And it could be very well somebody who comes straight from varsity, or, you know, was working at a very, very small law firm and hasn't been exposed. So my thing is that I don't think necessarily there's a good or there's a better time to do it. Maybe there is, but mine is take the opportunity whenever it comes. You know, if you want to apply in final year, apply. If you want to apply after your articles, apply. The opportunity is there for everyone.
Yes.
Literally.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I applied in my final year, and to be honest, I was just taking a chance. I wasn't actually thinking I was going to get it. So... and I think at the time I didn't actually know whether the court would recruit like people that had a lot of experience. So I just thought, okay, there will be a lot of people that come straight from varsity. I was literally maybe 2 or 3 out of everybody that came. Everyone had experience. So I think, to be honest with you, I think if I could do it again, I would not do it when I did it. Yeah, I would do it maybe 3-4 years of working. Because I think you kind of, I don't know, I think the experience is different, man, when you have some level of experience, because to be honest, I also think that Margogo Kote, it's very demanding. Like, you need to be able to really apply yourself, have an opinion. And I mean, straight from varsity, you haven't really worked, and so you always that imposter syndrome most, because then uduti 10 years experience in your chamber.
I was doing articles go Weber, and then
listen, and you're just like, oh my god, go lost school last year, you know. So I think it's better to do it after a couple of years, because I also think that when you also become more confident in the role, right? To say, okay, I can offer this on the table, right? But I also think that I would have not been able to go through my articles the way that I did without the experience of the court, right? I feel like I left Bowman's just being this person of, after 6 months, just thinking, my God, articles are gonna break me. Like it felt like they were gonna break me at the time. I went to the court, I came back. And I came back as a different CA. Like, honestly, I did. You know, I came back as a person that was willing to have an opinion. If a partner asked me something and I didn't agree with it, I'd be like, actually, I don't agree with what you're saying. And even if I was wrong, I was able to express my opinion, right? Yeah. Because that's a skill that I learned at the court. Because they will force you. What do you think? You know? Yeah. And you're like, I don't think anything. But no, they want to know, what does TD think? You know? And so I think it teaches you a level of confidence. You know what? Your opinion matters. Obviously, it must be based on the law, right? But I think if I could do it again, I would do it. Can a bit of experience, but I'm grateful for the time that that I did it at the time that I did it, because I think it made me a better CA, a better lawyer. Yeah. So I don't think there's a perfect time to do it. If the opportunity comes 5 years after you finished, great. If it comes after varsity, great. Yeah.
I also think so.
Yeah. Okay, I think those are the concrete questions. We've answered them. Then I think the last topic is marriage and the law. We got a couple of questions about the balancing.
Marriage and the law.
Yeah. I wouldn't say there's an assumption that lawyers are busy. We are busy. I think that's everybody knows. We work very long hours. And so the first question was, how do you cope with the long hours and having a partner? But isn't it better because you guys are both lawyers? Or not? The way you're thinking about this question.
No, you know what? Because there's so many dynamics when it comes to relationships. It's not just work. It's about how, like, do you guys understand? Like, I don't know how to put it. So, for example, right? I don't care. Not that I don't care. But I understand that this person has to work until 12.
Yes.
That to me is still balancing my relationship, because I'm giving him an opportunity to do what he must, and I'm not going to stress him by, come, let's go watch a movie, come, let's have lunch, come, let's do, but he's stressed about getting something done, you understand? And if I am today feeling like we need to go for a movie, he's going to make time for that, do you understand? So it's more like, there's just so many different facets to a relationship. It's not necessarily about your work. Such a job, really, that's the problem. It's understanding each other. It's about compromise. It's just about love, really. Your job doesn't matter. You could be a lawyer, an engineer, a doctor, and you still not have time.
You make time for the people that you love, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's so true.
Doesn't matter what you're doing.
Yeah, that's so true. I think for Na, I don't know. It works somehow. I don't know how. Like, it works. And there's times, obviously, that my husband is a doctor, but he doesn't. When he's home, right? Hana deliverables when he's home, right? Whereas I could leave the office and still have work, right? So, but then he'll have things like call, like 24-hour call. And so on the days that he's not home, I will maximize and also just do whatever I need to do, right? But even when he's home and I need to work, I don't know, he just gets it. He's just like, okay, like, you're working, it's fine. And the thing is, it's not like it's always like that, right? Not every day when I like at 12, no. There's times where your person will say, okay, no, today it's not the day.
I'm taking time.
Yeah. But then there's times when you're like, okay, baby, let's go for a movie, and you go for the movie, you know? I don't think I don't know. And maybe it's it depends on the kind of person that you marry to.
Yes.
I think that's quite
That's
important.
another dynamic.
Yes.
You see?
If you want to be married to Ubaba Sekaya or Renka 60, when
You must go to the kitchen and start cooking.
that's a different dynamic, right? But if you're going to be married to someone that understands your job, I think it makes the relationship even much better. Even when you don't even feel bad. Oh my God, I didn't cook today. Because your husband can get up and also make eggs and eat eggs and so I think, as you say, there's so many dynamics to relationship, and I don't think there's a perfect way to answer this question because everybody has a different partner, and you know your partner. If I have to work until 9 at night or 12 at night, I got to do mail or whatever, I can't explain that for you because that's your partner, right? So, but I think for now, I've never had an issue with working until late. I think the people that are like my mom and like my in-laws, they're just like, and I'm just like, what they going through? And alright, I don't stress, you know what I mean? Like, it's okay.
And they don't get it because they obviously didn't grow up in a similar circumstance or whatever.
Yes.
But you just, like I said, like, it's not about the job. It's not about law.
Yeah, no, it's not.
It's about the relationship, and that relationship has various dynamics.
Yes, no, definitely. Yeah, I don't know how else to answer that question.
There's nothing else to it.
Yeah. Okay, cool. We've questions.
With the groups.
Yeah. So now let's look at the questions that we couldn't
How much
necessarily.
time? We have 6 minutes. Okay.
Why is it 6 minutes?
Did you just say 7? It says 26 minutes.
No, 30, 20,
Okay,
29.
30,
Okay. I guess
We'll just, whoever finds a question to answer, they'll answer it.
Sharp.
Okay.
Okay.
There's one that says, can you make it be successful with a law degree without getting admitted?
I think definitely. I think so. I think there's benefits to being admitted. There's real benefits, but I do think that you can be a successful lawyer without necessarily being admitted, and I know that people that buy the graduate programs like Go APSA. I know a friend of mine, she did a graduate program at APSA straight from varsity. She didn't do articles, and she's still there. And I mean, I don't know if she's successful in the way that she wants to be successful, but I mean,
money.
Right. She's happy. She's growing at APSA. So I do think you can. You're able to progress in the career without necessarily being admitted. But I think it's beneficial to be admitted. Yeah.
More opportunities.
Yes. No. Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. Okay, we've answered that one. Someone is saying, when offered articles, must you sign on the spot? What about other firms? No, you don't have to sign on the spot ever. But I know they give you like a certain period. I think at Bowman's we had like a week. Yes, it's a week to think about it. I had nothing to think about it. I was signing on the dotted line. So it's like a week usually. Yeah. Okay, we've answered that.
But what are your predictions for the Chief Justice position? Who will assume office?
I got negative. I don't know. What do you think?
I don't want to talk about my opinions. Because I'm going to be bashed for opinions.
Anyway, and I got to go Twitter. But to be honest with you, just to put it on the surface, I think Zondo's going to get it.
I think it makes sense for Zondo to get it.
But we don't know. Not that we've got intel.
No.
I don't know any intel, guys. Which field is better, being an attorney or an advocate?
I don't know. I haven't been an advocate, but I hear they make more money because they have more time to themselves, and like they bill the money for themselves.
Yes.
That they don't get a salary.
Yes. Akuna. So you see, like with law firms, you've got a budget, guys.
Yeah.
But that budget is not what you get
it's
paid.
Not yours.
It's the firms. You get maybe 1% of that budget. So the thing about it's nice because whatever they make, it's theirs, right?
Obviously, pay tax.
Yes, but otherwise, it's theirs. I think also it just depends on what your career, where you see your career. right? If you want to be like a judge, a lot of people that want to be judges go that advocacy route. But usually I've seen that people start off attorney, couple of years, then they move to being an advocate, and then they do whatever else. So I don't think there's a better. It just depends on what you like, and I don't think honestly
there's
anything
still
better.
money to be made in both.
Exactly. No,
You
definitely,
know?
definitely.
Yeah.
Okay. Ooh. Once heard that top law firms don't accept CA applications from UNISA grads. Is that true?
No.
It's not true. There's literally a guy in our team that just got retained. He studied at UNISA. So that's not true at all.
Yeah, there's actually a lot of people who've studied at UNISA who are in big law firms. A lot. It's not as much as the others. Yes, we accept that, but you mustn't think that just because you went to UNISA,
it's like
there's no opportunity for you.
No, that's not true.
It's not true.
That's not true at all. Hey guys, then there's a question about cyber law. Now I know nothing about cyber law. Don't know anything about cyber law. Mari, if you know anything about cyber law, please get in detail with that field. I am interested, but info is limited. Honey, I get to be anything. Do you know anything? I have no idea. I don't even know anyone that knows. Like,
cyber law is like what? Cyber crimes.
I don't know.
We did a little bit of it in IP, like, and I don't know if it falls part, but
Yeah.
like where, for example, a company will have their domain name, right? Like www.weberwenzel.com. And then you, as a person, you go register that domain name only because you want to sell it back to Weber. If they have it, maybe you register www.weberwenzel.co.za and Weber Wenzel doesn't have a .co.za, they've got a .com, right? And then it confuses users between who's the rightful owner, between .com and .co.za. And then Weber wouldn't want somebody to have that domain registration. And then in you trying to sell it to them, because you know you're going to make money from it, it's a crime.
Oh!
Yeah. And then there's like what they call domain name disputes. I think that it's IP, but I think it also falls part of cybercrime.
Yeah, no.
But we don't know.
I mean, that one, I could see. Then someone is asking about how do you balance work versus PLT? You know how law school. So you know in the beginning of articles you have to attend classes. Did you guys do that? I'm sure you did.
We did it in the middle of the year.
Oh, is it? Well, now I know we do it at the beginning. I don't like.
And they gave us like that time off. So it was like, for the next 3 weeks, you guys have PLT.
Yes, that's how they do it.
You didn't have work.
That's how they do it. But I think what she's saying is how do you balance like the studying, preparing for the board exams?
Oh, that.
That's one thing that you just have to.
Just have to manage your time.
Yeah, no. Because, like, you can't not do it, right? It's like, you have to, right? I know, not to be completely honest with you, I never even listened at those lectures, to be completely honest. I literally started studying, preparing for my board exams. And you take leave. I took leave at the time. Yeah, I took leave. I was studying on weekends for the times that I couldn't take leave for. But yeah, you just have to manage it. And you will be able to manage it once, obviously. And that will also depend on your team, right? Some teams you work until very late. Some teams which is at like normal time. So where you're in a team that you knock off at 7, you can study after work. You know, you just have to
manage it.
Yeah, you have to manage it. Okay, so there's a question that says, will the both of you ever consider joining the judiciary or being advocates?
I haven't closed that opportunity.
Me too.
I haven't closed it. At this current stage, my short-term goal is to stay at my job for 5 years.
Really?
Yeah. It's my short-term goal.
Okay.
Because I've never been in a particular place for more than a year.
Really?
And
okay.
That's bad. Like for me, every time I get into an interview, they always ask me, why is it that you leave companies like after a year?
They ask you that?
Yeah. Like when I go, I'll stay.
And then what do you say?
I have reasons. Luckily, my reasons are genuine and you know, they are utlwahala. But so now it's just to say I need to stay where I am, and then I'll consider it again in 5 years.
Yeah, I think for me, like that's for me, it's like definitely like the goal. I don't know, like I just don't know when though. I feel like at the time that it comes, it will, you know, but it's definitely something that I am
Open to.
Definitely.
Very much.
Oh
Yeah.
yes, definitely. Dealt with imposter. Hey,
What
guys,
are the work hours when working for Big Five?
again, it depends on your team, right?
Yes.
It depends on your team. Some teams are busier than others, and some teams, it's like this, you know. It's like this. Sometimes you're really, really busy,
And then not
sometimes,
so.
yeah. So, like at the stage, we were very busy in my team, so we worked quite long hours. But I think the beginning of lockdown was very quiet. So, negotiations like ka-5, you know. So it depends on your team. It depends on the law firm. Oh, but it's a Big Five. Yeah, it depends on the law firm.
Team,
Yeah.
right? The area of law that you practice and how busy that practice is at that particular time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I know who like, but Tobacco farming in so, they work very long hours, even on weekends, because they have opinions to do after this video. But some of us, we are going home to go chill, have a glass of wine. So it depends, guys. It really, really depends. So this is a nice one. How important are extracurriculars, and which ones, and how many do you recommend?
Is SRC extracurricular?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
Then I recommend SRC. but
hey,
there's not that many opportunities for that, right?
What do you mean?
As in, there's only limited amount of people that can. A lot of people run for SRC, but you
can
know,
only
ultimately you can only have so many people.
Definitely.
And a lot of people end up in parliament who want to be in SRC, but still, you know, it's so. I'm not saying. I don't actually think it's hard. It's politics, eh?
It is.
The politics that is.
It is. No, it is. And I also just think for now, I just felt like it got too much time out of your academics. I never even considered it at all. It was just something that I was like, no ways. No. And I just felt like most of them, it's people that, as you say, they were interested in politics. And I was just never interested in those things. So I was like, Gishap spaces for me anyway. So I did like, I also think tutoring is a good one.
Tutoring is good.
Yeah, tutoring. What else? Things like
people play like school sports.
Yes, as well as maybe joining an SRC or res. That's like less work.
Yeah,
much more less work. And it's nice. So things like that. I mean, it depends on. I think extracurriculars, you must do what you're interested in, right?
Yeah.
They shouldn't be like a tick box.
I'm doing this because I want.
No.
Do what you like because it's then easier and like you don't feel like it's a job. When it's literally just an extracurricular activity.
Exactly. You guys. Like there's so many. Like I don't know.
Are you guys happy with law with your lives right now?
I am.
I'm happy with law.
I am.
Law is nice. I like it.
I love it. It's so nice. I love it. I wish I had more money, but I love it.
Lawyers always say they're not getting paid enough for what they do.
We really don't.
I don't know
guys.
though. I don't know.
No, I don't.
Nakere spoiled, especially people who work in Big Five firms, right? Like, I think there's a lot to be appreciative of. I do know that they slave, like, they make you work for your money.
Yes.
And that's why you're like, I deserve more.
Yes.
But I'm so content. For me personally.
No, I'm not content. Like about that bump. I'm a little bit of a bump. I'm content. No, but guys, I think we've tried to cover
a lot.
All the questions. I mean, it's definitely not all of them.
Not all of them.
But as I said, this video is like over an hour long.
The maternity one.
Oh, okay.
This is very important.
Okay, let's deal with that one. What does it say?
As a male-dominated industry, do you find that women's needs are accommodated maternity?
I think in the where I work, yes. If you're asking about maternity leave, I think so. Like I've never heard but people that have been pregnant complain, okay, there's been issues. I know even people when in our year, there were people that CAs, they were pregnant and they both got retained. They were not discriminated against because of that. They took their time off. You're near 4 months ill. They just extended their articles by you're near 4 months ill.
That's good.
Hey, but it was never like, oh my God. You know how you hear, what was I saying? I was saying, yeah, so we had CAs that fell pregnant within. And you know how they always say, articles are 2 years of your life. You should never fall pregnant. Wada, 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 wada. But that happened in our year and they were retained. Like it was fine. So we never had those issues.
All right, we're done.
Guys, the battery's even here fed. We actually have been talking for so long, but hopefully we've covered a lot of the questions. Even the questions that we didn't answer, we answered them indirectly.
Yeah.
Maybe let's live one day to answer the questions that we were not able to answer, and you guys can engage with us on that platform. But I think we tried our best.
And we have to end it now.
Yeah, no, it will left to. All right, guys, thank you so much. Please follow us on our social media pages on Instagram, on YouTube, not Twitter.
No, don't follow me on Twitter. I don't care about that.
Now you can follow me. I don't care about it, but you can follow me. And yeah, Facebook I don't have. But yeah, follow us and just keep engaging with us. Hopefully we'll do the live and we can engage more on that platform once this video has been posted.
Yes.
But thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.